Thank you, Chairman James, for holding this very important hearing on CCP's influence on the Africa continent. And I want to thank all the witnesses for your testimony and attending and answering all of our questions today. You know, Chinese economic activity and investment throughout Africa has been directly linked to environmental degradation and has created public health emergencies throughout the continent. For example, since 2014, Ethiopia's Somali Ogaden region has seen thousands die from mysterious disease in the areas surrounding a Chinese government-linked natural gas plant, which has poisoned the drinking water supply. Coordinator Waters, can you please speak to how your department plans to hold China accountable for the negative impact of their investments in Africa and local communities, and how you will pressure PRC to abide by international environmental protection and labor laws?
Representative Kim, thank you for the question. This is a very complicated topic, and I think, you know, at a general level, what I would say is that one element of our response to the challenge China presents in many domains is simply transparency. It's shining a spotlight on practices, whether they're related to corruption, environmental degradation. I will say that in this area, you know, we face a very big challenge, to be honest. The Chinese spend billions on their influence efforts, on their informational activities. There are 30 Xinhua offices in the subcontinent. This year, despite having a domestic economy in China that has slowed, their foreign ministry budget increased by double digits, by 12%. And so while dollars are not the only measure of success, I do think that you know, our strategy, first and foremost, is to shine a spotlight, to work with allies and partners with...
Right, which we're doing by obviously we're holding hearings and stuff, but I was hoping that you will give us more concrete 1, 2, 3 pressure points that you will keep China accountable. But let me follow up with maybe Deputy Assistant Secretary Holman and Deputy Assistant Administrator Davis. Maybe you can also speak to how your agencies are messaging the negative impacts of Chinese investment to our African partners, and what role should the United States play in delivering technical assistance to countries like sub-Saharan Africa suffering from those negative impacts?
Thank you, Congresswoman. I can start. A lot of USAID's work is working directly with the host countries to build their ability to protect against some of the issues that you're describing, to report them, to engage community members, to increase awareness and report them. Some of the examples of the work that we're doing, we have a significant portfolio of anti-corruption activities. We have community hotlines, capacity building of local administrators, for example, working in mines, strengthening judiciaries, making sure that when these types of incidents are reported, that there's a system in country to be able to follow up and report on them. So a lot of USAID's work is working directly with the host countries on their national response when these issues occur, and encouraging the reporting of them when they
Sure. In the interest of time, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask just one more question to Ms. Davis. For the United States to truly compete with the PRC in Africa, I believe we must do more to incorporate American private sector into development assistance. So how does USAID's Africa Trade and Investment Program interact with Prosper Africa's deal teams, and how can this help facilitate greater AGOA utilization throughout the continent? As you know, AGOA has been termed as a very successful, tool.
Thank you. Very briefly, for the sake of time, I think the initiatives that you mentioned, the critical response to your question, is that interconnectivity. So our deal teams in country, our interagency deal teams, feed into identifying opportunities within each of their countries. They direct companies, both African as well as US companies, to initiatives that are supported by Prosper Africa. We work closely with DFC to link to support opportunities through AGOA. So it's that interconnectedness that reinforces our ability to increase private sector engagement. And again, just to mention our new commitments that were made during the U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit in the Business Forum to continue to build on those connections to reach those commitments.
Thank you very much, and I yield back.